Jo, jetzt stehe ich hier direkt bei Gibson Akustik und ich habe mir mal Don geschnappt. Er ist Produktspezialist für Gibson-Gitarren aus Montana. Ihr wisst ja, die Gibson Akustikgitarren kommen aus Montana. Hey Don, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So you are product specialist for Gibson Acoustic, right?
I am, correct.
Cool.
Yes.
So what is new on NAMM show here?
Have a couple really exciting new guitars for this year. First one is a J35. It's a wonderful hand-built slope shoulder dreadnought, Baggs element pickup system, still handmade, nitro lacquer, hot high glue dovetail neck joint, as all our guitars have. Going to be at a very attractive price point, entry-level price point for us, a Gibson acoustic guitar. Very dynamic, sounds great, looks great. Just going to be a wonderful instrument.
All right, so I have a J45, so
Yes.
what's the difference to the 35?
Cosmetics,
Yeah?
color, bridge shape, pick guard,
Yeah.
tuners, not a whole lot. It's basically, right, just a little bit different look from a J45
And for a nice price, right?
for a very nice price.
That's cool. All right, so that's new.
That is new.
And the next one?
We have one other really exciting product. This is a replica of a 1941 SJ100. We've made a lot of different 100s over the years, but never really done a historic J100. Mahogany back and sides, whereas most J200 style guitars are maple. And it has a historic bridge, which we have never done since in our days in Montana building the acoustic guitars. Pick guard, binding, fingerboard, peg head, it's all historically accurate. Just a little bit more a variable from a maple J200 tonally. Instead of just making it look different, this guitar actually sounds different than our standard 200. Wonderful guitar, we're really excited about it.
So it's good for strumming, right?
Very good for strumming.
Yeah.
Just a big body.
With the deep,
and
the deep bottom end.
Deep bottom end,
Yeah.
and the mahogany just makes for a very, very balanced tone.
Yeah, cool.
Wonderful instrument.
All right, that's it for now.
That's good.
Okay, das war Don von Gibson Guitars.
Thank you very much.
Say hello.
Hello.
Jo, ich habe mir mal Hector geschnappt. Er ist Produktspezialist bei Gibson USA und er wird uns jetzt auch mal die Neuheiten von Gibson USA auf der NAMM Show zeigen. Hey Hector.
Hi.
So you're a product specialist?
I am a product specialist for Gibson USA and pretty much all things Gibson.
That's cool. You can show us the new stuff from NAMM Show here?
Yes, we can. We're going to start with some of the signature models that we're doing this year. We've got a good amount of artist models, starting with the Jason Hillock M4 Sherman Explorer. It's kind of based off the one that he's been playing for a while. It's got Seymour Duncan pickups, and it's got this really cool bevel on the side here, which is a little easier for your forearm there when you're playing.
What's this here? It's pretty funny.
It's similar to what Van Halen had done on one of his guitars, and it's just a cable cavity. It's these cables are running through here, so instead of being on the inside, no pick guard, basically. Yeah. Moving on, we're doing an Angus Young again, and we've done this before, but basically kind of just bringing it back into the mix. No real change from what we had before, but. This is completely new. We're doing a Frank Zappa Roxy SG, and this is based off of the SG that he played at the famous Roxy show. And it's got the phase and split switches. It's got the lyre tailpiece, his kind of white creamish headstock veneer on there, and a really nice satin back neck.
Very slim neck here, right?
Very slim, and when you've got the satin back neck instead of the gloss, for me, it just feels a lot nicer to grab onto. It's a little easier to play. We'll move on to the Les Paul tribute. This is basically a tribute to Les Paul the man, as you can see from the headstock. We've got a laser etching of Les Paul up there.
That's very nice.
Yeah, we've actually redesigned the trapeze bridge a little bit for a little more stability in tuning and in playing. This is a special package. When you order this, you'll actually get a jacket and a shirt celebrating Les Paul sent to you once you order this, so that's kind of cool. And all of these pieces I'm showing you right now, these are all limited to about 400 worldwide, so they're really small runs.
Okay, das waren bis jetzt die Signaturgeschichten und er macht noch mehr. So you have more signature models here? Okay. Okay, sorry.
This right here is a Sully Arna. He is the guitar player from Godsmack, and I think we were working with him for a little while, and we finally got to do something with him, and it's just very simple. One pickup, one volume, one tone. It's got this really gorgeous...
The finish here.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it close, it almost kind of looks like the surface of the moon. It's really, really cool, but a very no frills, just basic guitar, which is what he wanted. Alrighty. Moving on, we're going to be doing the Joe Bonamassa Standard. We had a Les Paul Studio from him out before, and finally now we're going to put out the Standard. This is the first guitar coming out that's going to have his signature Seymour Duncan pickups. And it's a pretty cool piece. It's a really nice gold top with the white binding. And this actually has the 60s asymmetrical neck that our regular Les Paul standards have. And basically what that is that on the bass side, it's more like a 50s neck, so it's a little thicker. On the treble side, it's more like a 60s neck, it's thinner. What that does is usually when you're soloing, doing a lot of fast leads, you want a bit of a thinner neck. But when you're doing chunky rhythms and stuff like that, you want the thicker neck. This gives you the ability to, when you're doing some rhythm parts up on the bass side, it's chunkier, it feels a little better there. But when you're doing fast solos on the treble side, it's going to be a thinner neck.
Okay, was er jetzt gesagt hat, ist natürlich ganz cool. Ich meine, die Gitarre hat unten ein bisschen, hat hier oben praktisch fetteren Hals und hier unten hat einen dünneren Hals. Und wenn ihr Solo spielt, so sagt er zumindest, will man es ein bisschen dünnerer haben in den oberen Lagen. Und wenn man fette Rhythmussachen spielt, liegt der Daumen hier oben, da wird es ein bisschen dicker. Das ist super geil. Gibt es ja auch von anderen Firmen, so asymmetrische Hälse. Super geil.
We're done with the signatures. Move on to a couple of special runs we're doing.
So this one is limited to?
That is a limited run, yeah.
So they're all limited to 400?
All of the signatures for now, it might change a little bit, but
yeah.
For now they're all going to be limited to 400.
Also die ganzen Sachen, die wir auch bis jetzt gesehen haben, sind limitiert auf 400 Exemplare. Und ich glaube, hier hat er noch was. So you have
a signature, right. But it's a kind of cool guitar. We're calling this the Zoot Suit Les Paul. And basically what it is we're using Stratobond wood. We're stacking a couple of layers of dies, and then when you carve the top, this is what happens. This is the actual wood showing through. It's not a paint finish, so it's a pretty cool idea. Finished product is going to be...
What kind of wood is it here?
It's called Stratobond. It's like a laminate, and basically we stack it, and if you see there, those are just the individual layers of the wood. And then, like I said, when you do the carved top, they just end up showing up like that.
Yeah, that shows a very nice effect.
Yeah. Very nice. Move down over here. We've actually got one more signature that I didn't mention. This is the Grace Potter Flying V. It's kind of hard to show here. If you see it in the light, it's actually not black. It's called Nocturnal Brown. There's a lot of fingerprints on here, sorry. But it's a really deep brown color that's really nice when you have the light showing up against it. This was designed by Grace Potter. It's got a really, really cool pickguard, and what I like is that it's a gloss top, but it has a satin back and sides, which especially, again, for the neck, when you have the nice satin necks, it's a little easier to play. And it's costing about the same as the regular.
That's a good idea to have the transparent color here and the satin backside on the outside.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I've always loved that combination because I like matte finishes, but there's something very classy about having gloss. But doing it this way, you have the nice gloss top, but you also have the satin back and side, so it works out nicely. Last thing on this side that I'm going to show you is the N225. This is something completely new. We've never really done anything like this, and it's a cool mix of a semi-hollow guitar, but it's got a Dirty Fingers Plus pickup, which sounds like our Dirty Fingers pickup, which is our hottest pickup, but it's a little louder and a little brighter sounding, but it's still very,
so it's
very
even
clear.
louder than the Dirty Finger.
A little bit.
All right.
But it's just still very clear sounding. And we've got a P90 in the neck and push pulls. The pinstriping on this is actually done by hand by an artist in Nashville that don't remember his name at the moment, but he is very famous. So very cool guitar.
And you have the sound holes on the side here.
It still has the F hole, so it is a semi-hollow guitar. But what's cool is because it's got the block going through, if you are running distortion through that bridge pickup, it's not really going to feed back. You don't really have to worry about it.
So it's more or less a solid guitar, right?
Pretty much. I mean, it's got these chambers on the side, so we are still calling it a semi-hollow guitar, but because it's got that block and it's actually kind of heavy, it is kind of a little closer to a solid guitar in terms that, again, if you're using distortion, it's not going to feed back like crazy.
All right.
We're done with this side.
So now we're changing the sides here.
Let's go over here since there's no one here now. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, so one thing that we're doing new this year is we're doing dedicated tribute series. So we've got 4 Les Pauls and 4 SGs. We've got a 50s tribute, 60s tribute, 70s tribute, and a future tribute. Now, the difference between all of these are going to be the knobs that we're using, the pickups, and the neck profile. The 50s is going to come with P90s and a 50s neck, which is the thicker neck.
Yeah.
60s is coming with Burstbucker 1 and 2 pickups with a 60s neck. It's a bit of a thinner neck.
Right.
70s, we're going to do some uncovered Dirty Fingers with a 70s neck with the volute at the top, which is appropriate for that era. And then the Future is kind of cool. It's got a 57 Classic and a 57 Classic Plus pickup. But it also has the 60s asymmetrical neck that we just showed you on the Joe Bonamassa Les Paul Standard and the regular Les Paul Standard. We haven't featured this neck on anything under $2,500 MAP before. This is going to be closer to $899, so it's a pretty cool piece at that. Another thing is we're doing Steinberger tuners on the top, and this is just for the Future model. So we're doing something a little different there. We've never really done this on the Les Pauls before.
Gut, okay, also die SG gibt es im Moment in 4 verschiedenen Formen. Hat er gerade erzählt, einmal hier 50s, 60s, 70s and that's a Future Tribute, right, okay. Das heißt, die 50er kommt mit P90, hat er ja schon gesagt, und einem 50er Hals. Und dann die ganz normale 60er Les Paul mit Humbuckern und mit einem bisschen dünneren Hals. Und dann gibt es hier die 70er mit einem Dirty Finger, ja, als praktisch Unterschied. Und dann hier die Future Tribute mit dem asymmetrischen Hals wie die Bonamassa. Gab es vorher auch nicht in dieser Preisklasse und natürlich mit Steinberg-Tunern. I mean, did you have these here before on any Gibson guitar?
We might have done a small run here or there, but generally speaking, we don't usually do these pickups on the Les Pauls.
All right, so it's not traditional at all.
No. It's more closer to what we use in the Steinberger. Some Firebirds before we've used these style of tuners.
I remember. Yeah. Okay. So these are the SGs here.
The SGs and the Les Paul, all of the features are the same, obviously, except it's just a different body. It's the Les Paul body shape. So we still have a 50s, a 60s, a 70s, and a Future. And with the Les Pauls, we're offering a gold top option on all of those for a little bit more. But we'll do the Cherry, we'll do the Ebony, and the Sunburst.
Okay, also wir haben die gleiche Unterteilung, haben wir auch für Gibson Les Pauls. Ist ja nur eine andere Bodyform, aber auch 50er, 60er, 70er unter die Tribute. Okay. So.
And one new thing that we're doing this year that we haven't really done before is something we call Min-Etune, and it's this thing up here. Basically what it is it'll automatically tune your guitar for you. We've had versions of this before in various guitars, but they were usually a little more higher end price. This now is going to be an option on all of the Tribute series, the Les Paul Studios, the Les Paul Signature T, and the SG Standard. Basically what it does is you just turn it on right here, give it a second to kind of get there. You strum on the other side, it's going to start doing its work, so you can see these kind of moving a little bit. It's close to being in tune, so it's not too off. Just fix these last 2 strings. And as you can see, it's kind of moving there. Now this one's going to move a little bit. And now you're in tune, and that's it.
All right, so this is an option
This is an option on the Tributes, the Les Paul Studio, Les Paul Signature T, and the SG Standard. It's all contained in the headstock. It's very lightweight. It doesn't make the guitar heavy. It's still a balanced guitar. You've got 12 tunings built in, and 6 that you can create on your own. And it basically works off of a small little lithium-ion battery, and this thing has 80 to 100 charges that you can do, and it takes about an hour for the battery to charge up. Like for example, we've had the show for a couple of days, we haven't had to charge any of these up yet, so they last for a long time. So that's one of the cool new things that we're doing this year that we haven't really done before at those price points.
Alright, okay, das war eine ganze Menge. So, das war Hector von Gibson Electric in USA auf der NAMM Show. Say hello.
Hello, thank
to
you.
Germany, Frankfurt.
Hi, Germany, Frankfurt.
Ja, jetzt steht Mike hinter mir und bei Mike war ich schon in Memphis in der Factory und da freue ich mich ganz besonders drauf, weil ich habe ihn hier wieder gesehen, dachte, ey Mike, du bist wieder da und er weiß ganz genau, was es hier aus Memphis Neues auf der NAMM Show gibt. Hey Mike, we met in your factory, right?
Oh yes, we did. Thank you for coming over.
That was a good visit, man. Yeah, because you showed us all the production process and all the things, and that was very cool.
Very good, thank
you. So you're here for
you.
Gibson Memphis?
Here for Gibson Memphis at NAMM.
Yeah.
2013, all new model line, and I'd like to show you around.
That was cool. Okay, so where do you have the new models?
Well, here we have a Scotty Moore reissue. This is an exact copy of his 1952 that he played to launch rock and roll with Elvis Presley. And there it is. It will be coming out in
Scotty
August.
Moore.
Very limited.
Yeah.
Signed by Scotty, every one. Where I'm just so excited about this guitar. It's going to rock. Oh, he is alive and wonderful.
Alive and wonderful. That's
absolutely.
Cool. All right.
And then if we will, let's move over here. We've just redone our ES-330. So now it's a 1959 ES-330 Td, Tdn, and Tdc.
So what means TD in that?
TD is what they used in the old days, and it designated T is thin,
Yeah.
D is double cut.
All right.
Because so many of the original acoustic electrics were the large body, non-cut.
All right.
So, and TD signifies vintage sunburst. If it had nothing else, it was vintage sunburst. And if it was natural, TDN.
All right. So we had to talk about the new series you're creating there in Memphis.
Yes.
And I mean, the new series you do, the 330,
Right.
the 175, and the 335.
That's correct.
They are so successful in our store. It really it became really successful. So the line is absolutely great. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, really.
Thank
really.
you.
So
We're very proud of
yeah,
it.
yeah, really. So and next,
We've actually changed these this year.
yeah.
These are new.
All right.
Newer than you had. Let me show you.
Yeah.
For this year, we have the exact reproduction of the cutaways. They call the Mickey Mouse here.
Yeah, sure.
We digitized an original one, and we just had the tooling made. It's brand new. So it's got the right shape. We matched the binding color from a 59 and a mid-60s. And then this year, we're splicing the maple on the 330s. Some of the guitars had spliced maple, some didn't. It's a very wonderful feature, slightly mismatched. It's just got a cool vibe to it.
Okay, so these are the original his historic features, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the historic program wasn't a big thing before, right? So it's a little bit
We've been
changing
developing it,
Yeah.
and we're dialing it in every step of the way.
Because I like that. Ich meine, Memphis hat ja nie wirklich historisch sehr, sehr wichtige Sachen, also historisch, ich sag mal, korrekte Sachen gebaut, aber jetzt sind die gerade drauf und dran, genauso wie Gibson Custom in Nashville, die Sachen einfach so zu bauen, wie sie früher waren. Das finde ich super geil, weil gerade die drei Gitarren, worüber wir gesprochen haben, sind bei uns auch sehr, sehr erfolgreich und klingen einfach geil. I mean, they sound great.
Thank you.
I love the sound of the 330.
Every guitar we do,
Yeah.
including the 330, we have original guitars.
Yeah.
We don't go from a picture or specs. We get the original, and we start there. Even with Scotty Moore's,
Yeah.
I have access to Scotty Moore's original, and that is what that's based on. Not just a
That's a good thing.
295. It's based on Scotty's
Was
295.
er gerade gesagt hat, er hat natürlich auch den ganzen Zugriff auf die Originale, also auch die Gitarre von Scotty Moore, hat er wirklich in den Händen gehabt und hat sich darum gekümmert, dass die Gitarren, die praktisch in Memphis gebaut werden, auch sehr, sehr authentisch sind. I love that. I love that. I mean, you do the scanning and you do
Everything. And,
That's cool,
and
yeah.
when we're training our employees and we're setting up new tools, we take the original guitar out with them. And they hold it and they feel it and they learn what it is so that they know what they're doing and why.
So I made a picture of the ES-175,
Yeah.
the original,
Yeah.
and the redone one. Yeah. And I saw no difference. It was so similar. I love that.
We're trying for that.
Very good work.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, let's move on.
So, ich habe in Memphis ein Foto gemacht von der originalen ES-175 und von der Gitarre, die er praktisch überwacht hat, dass die auch so gebaut wird. Und ich muss euch das mal zeigen, das sieht wirklich so ähnlich aus. Und die Gitarren klingen auch sehr ähnlich. Ja? Also sie sind da ganz gut drauf gerade.
Okay, if we can, behind you is our brand new 1959 ES-335 Td and Tdn.
All right.
Very proud of these guitars. We've actually gone a little bit farther than we did before. Some of the original guitars in the late 50s and early 60s they were plain veneer, but they had some blister, just a little bit of figure. So let me pull this down.
Okay. So you have an eye on all these small details of the originals,
But
right?
that's what makes
Yeah,
it.
that's
That's
it.
what makes it special. So we've been saving this veneer for a year and a half. I've been just collecting and collecting, and you can see this.
Yeah.
It jumps out.
So it's hard to get, right?
It's very, very difficult to get.
Yeah.
I received in the last 2 months 103 pieces, and we count every one, and it goes in a private stock. This is special.
Okay.
So to make
Also das Holz, was ihr hier seht, dieses Furnier ist sehr, sehr schwer zu kriegen, hat er gerade gesagt. Und es ist wirklich eine geile Geschichte, weil die Sachen halt für die Gitarren verwendet werden. Very, very nice looking.
Thank you. And again, we just found, I hired a man to harvest. He's harvesting red spruce. So we're at red spruce braces, hot hide glue neck joint. We're going into the minute detail because you have to honor it. It's a 59. It has to be right.
It's Very great concept. I like that.
Well, they were great guitars.
Yeah, sure.
And it's an honor to build them.
Yeah.
So, and then let's step over here. This is our 50th anniversary of the 1963 335. And when you if you can see, this is the new Mickey Mouse ear. This is a big original one. And see how slender this is. You put them next to each other and you can see the transition in the way the guitars were made. You know, this is a guitar that Eric Clapton made so famous with his 64.
Yeah.
And this is what started it. The 63 was the first year with a really wonderful slender. The block inlay, it's got that cherry finish. We spent months and months getting the cherry done. It's a very, very difficult to get the original red. But I'm very proud of our guys. They've done a beautiful job. And on this, of course, nylon saddles.
Yeah.
We're using the original long steel anchors. They're much longer than normal. So on this guitar and this one, they're getting the deep steel anchors, the larger posts. So when you put your tailpiece on, it just clicks in.
Yeah.
You've got great. It's just metal to metal. It's perfect. And the deep anchors really transmit vibration right into the center block.
Great.
It just makes it all. It's a beautiful guitar.
Das ist natürlich geil, wie sich die Jungs gerade um die ganzen historischen Sachen hier bemühen. Er hat mir gerade erzählt, dass hier die Mickey Mouse Ohren breiter sind bei der 330er und bei der 335er sind sie schmaler, wie im Original. Er hat mir auch erzählt, dass die ganzen Metallparts genauso sind wie aus dem richtigen Jahr. Das ist natürlich eine Geschichte, die hat Memphis so noch nicht gemacht. Und super geil, super geil. Okay, so this is the 335 here.
That's correct. This is
And this is just another color. Ja, genau. Hat er auch noch gesagt, die Farbe zu treffen war sehr schwer. Dieses richtige Cherry zu treffen war sehr schwer und die bemühen sich wirklich auch die Gitarre so zu lackieren, dass sie auch aussieht wie eine alte. Ja, das ist wirklich eine Sache, die mir sehr gut gefällt. I like the color. It looks old.
It took literally, we stained over 50 backs and tops working on the color. We had chemists in. I picked.
Er hat gerade gesagt, die haben 50 Gitarren lackiert, bis sie das endlich mal hinbekommen haben. Aber jetzt ist die Farbe da.
It took months. Yeah. I've never had a harder color. Let me pull it down. And when you see, and we're only going to use this on this guitar, and possibly another reissue we may launch in a bit. But this is it. And we can only do 6 a day. It's very, very hard to put it on. But it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because it's the right color.
It's the right color, right?
Yeah. So. That's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
And we had double ring tuners manufactured just for us, so that we were just dead on.
That's very interesting guitar. Very interesting for our store.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, and you need to play it later and feel the neck. That's really comfortable. Before we move on, I'm going to pull a guitar from down below. This is not a historic guitar, but it's sort of modeled on. I love this guitar. It's brand new. It's an artist guitar, Luther Dickinson.
So you showed me that one in factory, right?
Prototype. You saw the first prototype.
Yeah, I saw the first prototype.
But Luther plays really loud sometimes. They're a great band and they like to turn it up. He has a 330, which he loves, but once you crank up all those Marshalls, he wanted the P90s. So it was like, so we're doing a 335.
Okay, so you have the sustain block here?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
P90s.
Yeah.
With a Bigsby. Luther, we went through many, many neck shapes until he said, this is it. That's the one that's comfortable. Because he plays for hours at a time. So he would take it out and play and say, well, I love it up here, but I'm getting a little bit tired after the third or fourth set.
All right.
And this neck, it's magnificent. It's got a 59 shape,
yeah,
but it's got a different taper and a little bit thinner. And it's just
the right size.
I love it. It's really comfortable.
So this is a mixture between the 330 and the 335.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
And the see how dark the binding is, and the color. This is the color matched after his father, Jim Dickinson, legendary producer, and he had his 52 175. And it was old. It had been in a lot of smoky. It was just had vibe for days. Well, Jim produced R.L. Burnside, Junior Kimbrough, Aretha Franklin, Dylan, Ry Cooder. So that guitar's got great mojo. So we used it to model the color, and it's a tribute to Jim, and we're calling it the Jim Dickinson Burst.
All right, so you just took the color from
that guitar, because we wanted to, Luther's...
So this is a marriage of 3 guitars, right?
It is,
yeah.
And 2 generations of beautiful artists. So this is for Luther, his son, but there's a lot of Jim, his dad, involved. It is just, it's great.
So the color was from 175, right?
Yes.
Okay. Was wir hier haben, das ist sehr, sehr interessant. Er hat eine 330 mit einer 335 praktisch kombiniert und hat die Farbe von einer 175er genommen. Das heißt, wir haben den Sustain-Block von einer 335, aber haben ansonsten die Option von einer 330. Das ist natürlich geil. Hat's so nie gegeben, aber es ist im Prinzip so eine Zusammensetzung von diesen 3 Gitarren. So it's a marriage.
It's beautiful. Yeah, and, Premier Guitar Magazine, they went online and they do their NAMM show report, and I opened it up the second day and it said, editor's pick for day 1. There were a couple amplifiers and this.
Great.
I was very happy.
Yeah.
So let's move on down the line. We're going back over here. The 1952 ES-295. We finally did this guitar. Original bale tailpiece. We took an original tailpiece. We went to the manufacturer who has tooling that used to make a lot of the original hardware, and he's recreated for us, and it's brilliant. It's dead on. The neck shape is perfect. The cutaway under the fingerboard is exactly a 52, which is different than a 59. And so I think we've really captured, we've done our best to capture the true essence of what that guitar was when it first came out. And Scotty Moore was drawn to it. And you should hear him, he talks about it. He says he was walking down the street and the first 295 showed up in Memphis in a music store. And he said, I just went in and I said, I have to have it. So we're doing his tribute, and we're doing the guitar that actually pulled him in.
Okay, also hier sehen wir praktisch das Modell, was auch Scotty Moore sich zugelegt hat, als er die Straße runtergelaufen ist, hat er gerade erzählt. Auf der anderen Seite habt ihr ja die Tribute gesehen, oder praktisch die Tribute gesehen. Und hier wird wieder mal klar, wie die Jungs sich um diese ganzen Details bemühen. Das ist echt beeindruckend. Also er lebt da auch dafür, die Sachen so zu bauen, dass sie wirklich historisch sind. I mean, what I said, you're living for all these small details. You like to recreate the originals.
Yeah,
I mean, I see that, I hear that. That's cool.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what makes it worthwhile.
Yeah.
If you've seen my original 59 175.
Yeah, sure.
Well, if you take it and you hold it next to this one, you cannot tell the difference in the perloid. Yeah. We had perloid made that matches originally what is in the 59.
Jetzt hat er gerade erzählt, dass sogar die Griffbretteinlagen genauso sind wie bei der 59er, die er mir gezeigt hat hier oben. Musst du vielleicht mal mit der Kamera drauf gehen. Hier, das ist der absolute Killer.
But the details are what make it. Yeah. And you know, for people like us who love the best of the wonderful history guitars, you need it. Yeah. So let's walk around and we'll look at our brand new product. We just brought this out. We're very pleased with it. This is a new ES-390. It's a scaled down version based on the 339. So it's like a miniature 335, just a little. It's 15% smaller. So it's not tiny, but it's a comfortable feel. And the cutaways, because they're round, slender, it really looks like a 63, 64. So we thought appropriate block inlay. And then we tried some pickups. The mini humbuckers on this guitar are just perfect. So it's light, you can sit down and play it, and it's got a wonderful tone chamber, but you can plug it in and really crank it.
So it's a real acoustic guitar. Yeah.
Well, it's
really acoustic with the electric options.
Yes, like the 330, like the 330. So if you want to sit down on your couch and play, you don't even need to plug it in. Your wife won't yell at you. But if you want to, you can crank this thing up. It sounds great.
I mean, I had it in my hands. It's very, very light.
They're very light. So that's brand new. We're really pleased with that. And let's go over here. The last time we had a 12-string was in the 60s. And it just made sense, so we put one out this year. It's brand new again. It looks 60-ish, but what we did is we wanted something that was easier to play. The 60s had a little tiny neck, a little cramped. But so the neck on this, it's 1 3/4 at the nut. It's a very slim neck, very comfortable. It's a very easy playing 12-string. And It balances well. You know, it hangs on the strap perfectly. And we use burst buckler 1 and 2. Thank you for suggesting, for telling us about that. And it chimes.
Das ist zu geil, ey. Das ist zu geil. Wir hatten eine kleine Diskussion in der Memphis Factory über Pickups und da habe ich ihm gesagt, dass die Burstbuckler 1 und 2 schon geiler sind, als die er verwendet hat. Und jetzt hat er mir gerade gesagt, dass in der Gitarre die Burstbuckler drin sind. Das ist so geil. Mike ist echt der Beste. Seit den 60ern gab's praktisch keine 12-seitige von Gibson und deswegen haben sie das jetzt mal wieder aufgelegt. So what I said, you are the best.
No, thank you for your advice. Your advice means a lot, and we're taking it. Now, this is really adventurous for us. This guitar sort of embodies a lot of what we've done in the past, but it's not a reissue of anything, and it's new. And it sort of pays homage to Trini Lopez with the headstock and the inlays, but then it jumps off, and it's sort of a rock and roll 50s look, you know, with a single cutaway. And the body is nowhere near as thick as a 175, but it's got chunky feel. It's a nice thick body. It's totally acoustic, again. And what we've done, if we put P94s on here, and they're reverse wound. So when you go to the center position, they're hum canceling.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's just so sweet. And of course, the Bigsby, it needed it. And we're using the Tone Pro roller bridge. It's absolutely beautiful setup. It's fun to play. I think you'll like it.
Really, it's very nice looking. I mean,
Thank you.
So
this is a trans amber. It's hand stained. Everyone will be hand stained into this guitar. It's a very custom built piece. Yeah. And then we're doing the same one in an ebony. It's an elegant look. And let's move on. Now we get to the upper end of the ES-390s. It's the same guitar. It's got that same comfortable neck, but we really pulled out very beautiful figured veneer on this, so you can have a little more elegant look if you want.
Yeah.
So, and that completes the system over here. Now let's go down to the 175s. We freshen those up. On these, we've put the tortoiseshell pickguard. This one I love. It just made sense. And thanks to Jason Dawson. You know Jason.
Yeah.
Oh, he's been at Gibson for a long time, but he saw that and he said, well, it should be black. And I was like, oh, yeah. And it was beautiful. So aluminum Bigsby, chrome, black color, it's just elegant looking. You know, you feel like you're in Manhattan or downtown playing in a jazz bar. It's just so wonderful. And the tone is magnificent. And again, reverse wound. So hum canceling in the center position, beautiful guitar to play. And everyone loves the Gibson
gold top.
Yes, yes. So it had to happen. It's all gold. New 335 in gold. It's got the great 335 tone. It's got the playability. You know, the 57 Classics is a great rock and roll guitar, and now it's just got that sexy gold color. It looks great.
Yeah.
Now we wanted to actually open the market up and have a more of an affordable guitar, and so we started here. We took a 339 and we've turned it into a studio. So this is a new 339 studio. It's very affordable, but it's every bit of an ES that we put out. It's made by the same people with the same material. One pickup, and it's the new Dirty Fingers. It's just hot. Very simple controls. This is a rock and roll machine. It plays great. It's basic. It's stripped down, and it's ready to go. And we have it in a 339, and we have it in a 335. And it comes in black or blue. And then we get to the final new product, which is so cool. We've been waiting to do this for a long time, the ES-335 bass. And we're doing 3 versions. The first version, sorry, Oliver. The first version is unbound, ebony. It's got a 34-inch scale, 3-point bridge, humbucker pickups, and it's a stripped-down version of a bass. It sounds great, plays great. We step over to here, which is dressed up a little bit more with a binding vintage sunburst, or you can also get it in a dark cherry, which is just really pretty. And that rounds out our line for 2013 for Gibson Memphis.
What I see here is that you redo the old stuff, and you do the new stuff as well.
Yes.
So that's a good way, what I think. So, yeah.
You have to pay homage, and you learn from the best of history.
Yeah.
And we're doing our best to pay homage and recreate that, but you've got to grow.
Yeah, right.
And we're really trying to grow and stay up with the market.
And this is growing here.
Because we need, I want people to come back in 50 years and recreate these.
Yeah. Okay, das war Mike von Gibson Memphis für Session TV. Hey, it was a big honor for me. Thank you.
It's always great to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Say hello.
Bye. Hi. Thank you for coming.